This is A to Z 115.
Today's guest is AaRahn Stewart, RC plane enthusiast.
It's like they're trying to be too meta.
We're gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
Much better.
Yeah. You can buy you a drink. You can
Well, I mean, he did pick up somebody we know.
Sidestep the question. That technology does not exist.
Hey, everybody, I'm Zach. I'm here with my co-host, Aaron.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to A to Z, where we sit down with the folks that make Southeast Texas a better place to live.
That's right. And if you are new to the show, thanks for checking us out. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, iPhone podcast app. Literally everywhere that you can find any podcast, we're there.
Mm-hmm. And you can also find us at our phone number. That's 409-206-2971, 409-206-2971. And guess what,
We got
Aaron?
digits. Get at us.
Guess
That's all
what,
I'm saying.
Aaron?
We got digits.
We
got something?
We got a voicemail
Snap.
from Beatman.
We get to hear his voice?
Hello, friends. This is the Beachman. We are safe from the hurricane. We have generator power. We have fans going. We are surviving. Anyways, I have good news for you guys. This has revitalized my energy to make good music for y'all. I will make a extreme metal song for the A to Z podcast. Y'all be safe. Be brutal.
What did Beatman just say? He'll make what?
He's going to make us a metal song.
Oh, that's all right, man.
Waiting for it.
The mystery still continues. Beatman, please
No
don't
idea.
reveal yourself to me. We have no idea. Again, we do have a phone number. You can leave us voicemails just like that. Just give us a call. You know, texting is really easy. And we'll read it out on the show just like we just
Do
did.
stuff like that. But today we're going to be talking to AaRahn Stewart, and this guy just knows so much about planes.
So
and
much.
He just it's like we pulled the cork off of a bottle,
Yeah.
and he just went with it. Everything that he knew, and it was
Can I
really
just say that it's a whole world
fun.
that I didn't know about?
Yeah.
Literally, RC planes is a whole world with a whole community unto itself. And we have one of his favorite sons right here, and it's going to be great. You're going to learn a whole lot about remote control aircraft, okay? And a little bit about the drama of the RC community. And you're going to learn some things you just didn't even know existed. So stick around.
You don't like Tom Petty?
You mean where the bottom of your stomach comes to the top of your stomach?
Yeah, I will go ride any roller coaster, but I do not like the whole
free
dungeon
falls.
drop thing. And then, I hate that ride. That will turn me into the biggest raging vagina.
Yeah, well, it ain't there anymore. It can't hurt you. It's gone. It's gone. It's a parking lot now. So
That's kind of
can't
actually
hurt
some
you.
of those roller coasters actually
the dungeon
got
drop
taken
gone.
Oh man,
It hurt me too. It hurt me too as a kid.
Taken somewhere.
it's weird.
Somebody took it.
Probably.
It's weird going through Houston and seeing where Astroworld was.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
this is
just
it?
so empty.
Yeah.
It's so empty, but also I just thought it would be way bigger.
Yeah, that's true.
It looks very small. Like,
Yeah.
it just looks very tiny.
They hurt me too. I remember when I was a little kid, me and my dad went to Astroworld, and I was gonna get on the dungeon drop. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna get on this. We waited in line because you remember how long the lines were.
Oh yeah.
We're waiting there we were in line for about 40 minutes when I really started to have to pee. You know. And I got a little tiny bladder, you know, and I was like telling my dad, I was like, Dad, I need to pee. And he was doing that whole, oh no, you're just chickening out, you know.
My gosh.
You're seeing the end of the line, you know. I was like, no, I really do. And he was like, all right, well then go pee then, you know.
Oh
And
my gosh.
He put that on me. I was like, fine then. And I get to the top, and I'm just about to I'm just like struggling at the top, and then that free fall hits,
And there
you
it
know,
is.
and then like the bladder just was like,
Did you-
"Whoa!" Yeah. And I remember it was like the most painful thing ever, just holding it in like in free fall. And
Oh my
I
gosh.
hated dungeon drop after that. Like, oh,
Yeah,
it gives me horrible
I don't like the dungeon
bladder
drop.
memories when I think about it. So thanks, Dad. Appreciate you.
I've been itching to go on a roller coaster adventure.
I freaking love roller coasters.
I wanna
man.
go to,
I don't like
the
none
one
of
in
my
Arlington.
friends like going to amusement parks.
Yeah,
I was
Physics
like,
Day, man.
it's like this is the stupidest shit. Y'all don't like
Yeah.
You say
amusement
physics
parks?
day?
Physics
Let's
Day.
have a physics day.
You don't remember that in school? We would
No.
go to y'all didn't go to Astroworld for
No.
Physics Day?
No.
What?
Oh,
Well, how old are you?
I'm 33.
I mean, I'm not too far behind you, but
Yeah.
what school did you go to?
I mean,
Silsby?
that generation, that was the end of the craziness.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah. Well, y'all set up? Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we're going.
That's cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I have a lot of questions for you. You know, it seems whenever Zach told me that we got a RC enthusiast coming on, I didn't really immediately snap to some stuff. But then I have like a lot of questions.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love them.
Before we even started right here, we were talking about. I asked you if you like helicopters and your preference on that. I find that really interesting because it seems like the RC community is segmented now between all of these.
It's
passions.
very segmented. You have RC helicopters, you have planes, you have drones, FPV, cars.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. What's the difference between an RC plane and a drone?
Okay, so your drones.
I mean, not like a quadcopter drone, but I'm talking about like the military drones.
Like
honestly,
a Predator? That's a plane.
Honestly,
they're just using drone as a word for autonomous.
Exactly,
okay.
because I'm saying exactly like I know, but that's how I see it as well. It's just like because people come up to me and be like, "Is that a drone?" And I kind of squint my eyes. I'm thinking you're thinking of the little toys that you see in the mall.
Yeah.
And it's so funny when I walk through the mall and I see these guys demonstrating their little helicopters and their drones. I'm like, you think you're tough, don't you? You think you're tough.
I was wondering, I was like, I bet, man, you're a gas engine, right? You're an internal combustion engine.
Yes.
Everything about it is it is a small
Even airplanes
airplane.
have been segmented. Yeah. You have gas airplanes like I fly.
Yeah.
Glow, a lot of people start on Glow. I started on Glow from the time. Glow, which is like nitromethane. And is losing. You know how gas engines have a spark plug. You have a spark wire connected to it.
You have a glow plug.
Glow plug, exactly.
Yeah.
And you had like a little hot shot that you would put on there, and that's what fired it. And then
So you had to like
you would have to like put like a little
Where do you even buy that fuel? Do you
at hobby shops, and it was expensive as hell. It was like 20. Like remember when I was younger, because I grew up in the 90s, and that's before gas engines were getting really small. And electric was becoming a really big thing. It wasn't quite there yet. Even jets didn't quite have turbine engines in them yet, as far as models. They had little glow engines in them, and
jets? Oh, really?
Yeah, they were called ducted fans.
They sounded like
engines now?
I remember when I saw one when I was a kid. It had that jet sound.
Well, there was probably an electric one, but or maybe even a turbine, because turbines were breaking into the industry like in the early 90s.
Okay, yeah.
But most of them, because they were so expensive and they were only in Germany.
And they were really big too. Like
exactly.
the planes were like as big as this table.
Oh, I just showed him one that blew his mind.
Oh, dude, it was as big
but
as your
like
car.
we had to go to a purposely like a hobby shop for airplanes, and we'd have to buy nitromethane fuel, which was anywhere between $20 and $30 a gallon.
And really, that's a cheap fuel. It should be a lot cheaper.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a supply chain.
Do you not burn as much of it as gas?
It was just made for smaller engines.
Yeah.
Smaller engines, and like I said, we didn't have gas like 15cc or 5cc gas engines then, like we do now, that can power these little small trainer type aircraft that I started on. So, and then the same way with these jets, then of course they had big glow engines that would probably be like a 20 to 30cc glow engine. But then at that point, you're starting to break into your gasoline engines.
Wait, have you been doing this your entire life? You've been doing this your entire life?
Oh, yeah. My dad, like, Joe Jacksoned me into flying planes when I was, like, 4. Me and my big brother, Carl, he's in the Navy. So he's a fighter pilot. Well,
oh, wow. Okay.
Safe fighter pilot. He flies in a fighter jet. He's a weapons operator.
Wow.
So he was Goose. He was Goose.
He pulls the trigger.
Yeah. He was the backseat in F-18 Hornets in the Navy. Now he's a flight instructor in the Navy. He has 2 years before he retires. I get my brother back. Yeah, we all took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And so, my dad got us into this. And, I've been doing this since I was like 4.
Yeah, your entire life you've been flying planes. I thought because
I could just see your dad like trying to explain what lift and drag is when you're
bro, like I remember those days.
Stick your hand out the window. You feel that?
Right.
Yeah.
Put
your hand like this. Ooh, it's gonna ride. Yeah.
What's funny is I figured that out by myself. My dad had explained it to me, but like one day I will never forget being in my car seat, and I figured out how to roll the window down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of put together, your little mind just kind of puts together things that sound similar to what your parents told you. So I'm saying lift and this is drag, not even realizing that that's exactly what it is. I'm just like, well, that's kind of what it feels like, I guess. And so I looked at Daddy. I told him, and I remember he looked back from the car seat, and he like looked back at me for an extended period of time.
Single tear,
The single tear.
looked,
my son.
I remember he looked back for like an extended period of time, and my mom was like, "Girl, drive." She didn't understand it because my mom's not like a big airplane person.
Yeah.
But he understood. He was like, and I remember that was like a story he kept telling everybody, and I was like, "Dad, what's the big deal?" Just flying airplane up in the car.
What is the history of these RC planes? Because like that was, I mean, you're a little younger than us, so that was probably the 90s that was happening. So like,
Well,
RC planes have been a pretty big thing
since the 70s,
Yeah.
60s, and 70s.
Since we had
They've gone
engines
through so
small
much,
enough, I
too.
guess.
Yes, since we've had engines small enough to do it, and we've had people to figure it out. So one of the guys, I know one person. I know a few people, but there's one person. He died this year. Rest in peace, Bob Violet. He is the sole reason why we have model jets today. He was in the Navy.
And jets, you mean specifically?
As in like
turbines.
specifically modeled jets, which
Yeah.
is such a like.
It means non-prop, right?
You're building
Exactly.
a
No prop.
turbine engine, right?
Well, he designed the first model jet. And of course, he designed the idea of a ducted fan, which is pretty much essentially what a hairdryer is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a little bitty motor in there that's turning this fan really fast. That's what he figured it. That's how he figured it out. And, full scale jets have ducting in them because that's how you got to keep the engine cooled. You have these, I'll pull it up and show you on my phone, but, he designed all of that. Yeah, he figured all that out, and that was in the early 70s. And so he's the reason why we have model jets. Now, as far as model airplanes go, I don't know the story behind that. I know it came a little bit before that.
Yeah.
But I know Bob Violet was like...
Can we say it started with the one with the rubber band and the balsa wood?
Yes, of course. And of course, before you had this, you had this, you held it by a string and you walked around in a circle.
Yeah.
I remember those days because my dad had kind of got my attention with that.
Okay, yeah.
But
Tethered
exactly.
Tethered planes.
So tethered plane. But they're actually called control line.
Oh, wow.
Control line, and for me, I think it's very dangerous because don't fool around and get dizzy.
Wait, they do have one that like it's tethered, right?
It's like wired.
Yeah,
up.
it's called control line.
Yeah, but do they have ones that are like really long, or is it you fly it like a kite around? Or?
Yeah, not necessarily. They're not necessarily controlled by wind. They're just controlled by there's a running engine on the front of it. That's what's pulling that airplane, and you're just controlling it by walking around, going in a circle.
Yeah.
Seems really dangerous.
Exactly. And some of them, bro, I found a video. Like some of them get up to over
right into the power line. Whoa.
Like some of them get over like they're going over like 100 and something miles an hour.
That's right.
Flying
I've
around
seen
in a
videos
circle.
of
I'm
that.
like, that seems
videos
terribly dangerous, But
like the worst kind of tetherball,
Exactly. But like the jets, I don't think jets started out that way. I don't honestly think jets went through a phase like that. I don't think so. But I know that Bob Violet, he literally just died this year, and I had the pleasure of meeting him because I'd heard about him. I grew up. My dad had these VHSs of these airplane meets. Majority of them were jet meets, so they were called at the back in the day before they were turbines. They were called fan meets or ducted fan meets. Then when turbines started to come in, they just called them jet meets. But I would have these VHSs, and they were all these guys that were like
innovating
and like some of the best pilots in the world. And I was like little, and I was just like, I kind of want to meet some of these guys. And kid you not, every guy that I said I've wanted to meet, I met.
Really? Did you meet him at like meetups, part swaps? Like what's that scene like?
I go to events. Like I take this. Some people in the hobby think I take it too seriously, and you know what they can do is kiss my rear end. But there was a main event called Top Gun that is invitational only.
Of course, yeah.
I almost did. I wore it to church this morning, and then I fell asleep in it, and like the collar of it was like all down here, so I had to take it off. But there's an event called Top Gun, and it started in 1987 or 88, one of the two. But the goal for Top Gun is to make your plane look as close to the real one as possible.
Oh, okay.
And fly it as close to the real one as possible.
So it's more about the replica aspect.
Exactly. Yeah. And so of course you get judged on it, know, and that was my goal when I was 10 years old and I realized what it was. 2003, around that, the competition happens every year in May. So I would expect the magazine in September to come out with an issue on what happened in May.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so every time
it's probably on it's got to be on an airfield somewhere, right?
Yeah,
like a municipal airfield or
for
something.
For the longest, in the early 90s when the planes were not nearly as big as they are now.
Yeah.
In the late 80s, it was at a polo field in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. And when I look at it now, because I got on Google out because I love the nostalgic part of this hobby as well.
Yeah.
I love looking at stuff that I saw when I was younger. But It is like nearly like to fly my plane there. The one my big P-47 would be terribly dangerous. Like it's very close quarters. As soon as I get off the ground, I need to haul ass and get out of the way of the trees. Then I'm around the subdivision. They want to get kicked out because so many planes went in people's yards.
I mean, because it's a 37-pound plane, but if it's going.
Exactly. If I'm flying full throttle,
and you lose control, it's going to take out
and then
house.
Back then, like I said, they were flying jets then. Jets were a decent thing, but they were not, most of them weren't turbine powered, but these jets were still hauling.
They were fast.
They were going like
how fast do you think these planes go?
Mine has been clocked. My big P-47, because it's a fat slob, it was clocked at 87 miles an hour. But that's
almost fast. That's fast enough for real planes, right?
Like takeoff, yes.
Yeah, takeoff.
But like, I've seen some of these planes go over 200 miles an hour, and I'm just like, jets. Really?
Jets, yeah.
But there are also like model, like Reno racers, like racer replicas. I guess it's hard to say.
You mean like replicas of like single props?
Single props,
prop
planes that like race and stuff like that. They're like purposely built, and they have these engines that run on alcohol. I have no idea.
Has anybody put a VR camera on the front of it so you can fly
honestly, what's crazy is they've been doing that since they were young, since in the 90s. They'll put like a little camera on there. One of the videos I had, this one dude, he took like an arcade game. When I say arcade, I mean like one of them big old things that you go to like see it. I don't know, like the bowling alley.
Oh, like what you sit in?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And he like figured out a way to hook up his camera.
So he brings his booth out. And
he brought this whole booth out there.
Oh, he made that his controller.
Exactly. And it was like, and that's how he flew it. And I was like, that's dope and all, but I couldn't get to see what my plane's doing. I meant to see what's like around me. So he could like look around, but he could look at the screen and see directly in front of him. Now I'm sure people are probably figuring out a way.
You're looking at your craft in the air. Right?
Exactly. Because I like to see what it's doing. But yeah, like the Top Gun thing is, like, that is one of the biggest events, and it's invitational only. It is a freaking honor to get invited, and so and I got invited in 2012 behind a video that the guy that runs the show saw of me flying on YouTube. And I don't know where that video is because I didn't record it. I did not record it. He was like, man, I saw it. He described the plane that he saw me flying. I was like, well, that was me, but
that's
where's the video? Like, I need to see this. I'd never seen it. And so, but that's how I got in.
Were you stunting or something?
Like, no? I was just, he wants to see just like, if you can take your plane off, go down the runway in a straight line and make your, like, pretty much make your little bitty airplane fly like the full scale one, which is not very easy. Exactly. That is impressive to a lot of people. And I'm into aerobatics as well. I'm into it all. But he was really impressed by how young I was. I was 19. Or 18 at the time. And so he was just like, yeah, man, we want to get you to come to Top Gun. I was like, period. Yes, I want to go. Couldn't go that year because I didn't have an airplane ready. I wasn't. Your plane has to be at minimum 80 inches of wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like because you need to be able to present it well, and the smaller they are, the harder they are to fly, and they're harder to present like a real one. Like, I can't take like a little toy airplane and fly it around in here and be like,
the physics don't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Also imagine like the smaller it is and less mass, the more the wind and gusts have over it.
Yeah. It's just less
stable. It's just less stable in the air.
And so like the bigger the plane is, and of course it all depends on design. It's how stable the plane is. You have a much better chance of doing good. Like, I won my class at Top Gun in 2015 because the first year I went was in 2013. I did terrible because, once again, I still didn't have an airplane ready, and my brother sent me an airplane. At the time, he was stationed in California. He Greyhounded me, one of his airplanes, and he sent it to me like 2 months before the competition. The plane showed up at my house the morning we were supposed to leave.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't get any time to practice.
So don't send anything in Greyhound, I'll tell you that much.
Bro, I've had nothing but bad experiences.
Yeah, they put...
they put it under thing. Yeah, and I had nothing but bad experiences. Like, I've had a plane get shipped to the wrong address. I'm like...
Oh, wait, because shipping a frame is big. It's big, but it's not big, heavy, so it's not technically freight. But
exactly. But we built a crate, so of course it's a big, stupid crate. Now you got to worry about lugging that thing around. But yeah, we got to Florida, and I was green. This time I wasn't even 20 yet, and I was just... and I met somebody at a full-scale air show the year prior called Barry Rayburn. I know he's probably not... Is
that what y'all call real planes, full scales?
Full scale, yeah. Oh my God, I just realized that's weird.
It's like throwing shade a little bit. It's like, the full scales?
Yeah, the full scale guys, they sit in the airplanes. You're losers. But no. I met this guy named Barry. At every air show, like full scale air show, there's always like a model airplane demonstration at the front of it.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was going back to Top Gun that
thing
year.
they do a lot? They like combine those?
Exactly.
Because all these guys that all these kind of monoplane nerds, y'all are probably just plane nerds.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Now, but what's crazy is that big plane nerds are not always model airplane nerds. They'll look at what we got and be like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, first of all,
well, they have a license.
Yeah,
sir.
Like, first of all, mine is harder to fly than yours. So, but no,
I imagine that controlling a craft in the air with this controller is a lot harder than being inside of it.
Yeah,
and also you have the biology too. You know, we have like 37 senses. So when you're sitting in a craft, your equilibrium's working. You feel the plane going up and down. You can actually feel the wind, the density.
Exactly.
And when you just have to like look.
You can tell when you're getting too slow.
It's like that dot, and you're like, I think this is happening.
Exactly.
So I'd imagine it's way harder.
It is. So like we were at that air show, and I remember the announcer was like, this is Barry Rayburn. He's a Top Gun champ. I said, Top Gun. He like mentioned that he goes to Top Gun, and I had been looking for someone in the area that does that. So because I was going by myself. My dad was going with me, obviously, but we didn't know anything about that competition. I didn't know anything about the maneuvers that we were required to. I didn't know none of that, and so I ran into him, and I like jumped in his back pocket, and so now me and this guy, he's like 30, 40 years older than me. We're like best friends.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
it's like a mentor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He got me into. He holds this over my head because he got me into my first competition in 2013. I went for the first time. I didn't go in 2014 because I did not have an airplane. And good thing is that it rained. So like half of the competition got shut off. The following year in 2015 was my first year. Me and him were in the same class and I beat him. But like I got first place, he got second place.
Dang.
Okay, grasshopper.
Oh my God.
He's like, I ain't teaching you anything.
Yeah.
Come out of the sky.
But like just to piggyback off what you said on how much the bigger the plane is, that was the biggest plane I've ever flown. It was not my plane.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a plane that a guy in Louisiana let me borrow. Love you, Jeff Knoll. And it was the 144-inch wingspan version of the big silver one that I showed you.
Yeah.
And
so
it weighed
bigger version of that one.
Way bigger. And it weighed 87 pounds. This is before we had to get everything registered. But it weighed 87
all
pounds.
The drones kind of ruined it for everybody, huh?
I can't begin.
Everybody started driving those DJIs.
I can't begin.
And like the idiots
if I could be a
into
dronist or dronesist, I would. But like he let me borrow this airplane, and bless his heart, I love him for it. And of course he came to Florida too. It's in Lakeland, Florida, by the way, 14-hour drive. So he let me borrow his airplane, and I won that year. That was the 25th anniversary of Top Gun, I think.
Nice.
So I was in 2015.
You won for what category? Like
it was
how many
Pro-Am
classes are there?
Sport?
Okay, Top Gun. So you got Pro-Am Sport, which is for first-timers and people that don't find themselves in a winner circle often. Pro-Am Pro, which is you've won Pro-Am Sport, or you were in the top. If you won Pro-Am Sport, you're automatically kicked out of that one and go with the Pro-Am Pro.
Because then you'd be sandbagging.
Exactly. If you're in the top 10%, then you have the option. No, if you place in the top 5, sorry, not top 10%, but like first place through 5th place.
Oh, yeah, like
you have
on
the
the podium.
option to go to Pro-Am Pro because you're like at least in that circle,
Yeah.
Then there's team scale. Now, mind you, in those classes I just went, your plane does not get static judged. You're only judged based off of flying.
Okay.
So what you do is, all you do is show them a picture of the full scale when your plane has to be painted after a full scale airplane. Show them a picture of the plane that you modeled, and they give you a standard 25 points. 25 points because you modeled the plane.
So as long as you're close, you're
exactly. You're like, but the other classes, you have to sit your plane on the table, and you have people walking around your plane.
Like a dog measuring it.
Exactly. They're looking at all the panel lines and rivets that you did yourself.
Oh, you have to get it accurate to the rivets.
Yes. You have to get very accurate, and it has to be accurate by the outline, which sometimes is out of your control.
You hit it with a rivet gun?
Yeah.
No, I do like little bitty glue drops.
So are your
the
craft... Is your craft aluminum?
So these planes, here we are in 2020. These planes have been made out of everything from styrofoam to wood,
carbon
to
fiber.
And then there's
carbon fiber.
It's like a veneer
fiberglass.
on the outside of, you know.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. So for your planes that are made out of wood, foam, and wood and foam, you are 9 times out of 10 going to fiberglass's airplane.
Okay, yeah.
And you're going to sheet it, of course, with wood because you need a hard, smooth surface.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're going to fiberglass that to get it solid and build up the strength. Because, of course, I don't want to walk out of here. Let's say if I brought one here, hit it against the door. If I didn't fiberglass it would probably
crack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, some of these planes, like older planes, are covered by fabric. So, like, without the fabric, you can, like, see all the insides of the airplane, stuff like that. But the main shape is there, but you have to cover it with fabric, stuff like that. Right. But as far as your aluminum and your already composite fiberglass or carbon fiber airplanes, the shape is there. You don't have to, and it's already, the finish is there. You don't have to, do any extra sanding to try to get it smooth.
Is it like the aerodynamics, are they as like super crucial in that state? Like with the bodies had to be perfectly smooth. Yeah.
Like a lot of times, some of these models, they will alter the design of the plane to make them fly better.
Yeah.
Because like a P-40, for instance, P-40 World War II airplane, it is known, remember I told you nobody likes that airplane. It is known because the landing gear narrow, they sit really close together. They stick straight down and they don't kick forward, so you have the tendency to nose over. And the wingtips, like towards the fuselage, the wing is like really wide, but as the wing goes out to the tip, it gets narrower and narrower. So a lot of people, they will alter the wing or the placement of the landing gear to make it easier to fly as a model. Because if you take something that big and then scale it down,
it operates under
the physics.
Exactly. Now there's this one guy who is known for, a lot of people do. There's one guy who's known for building his airplanes per the plans. You need to be a real pilot to fly these airplanes. His name is Jerry Bates. He builds his airplanes per the plans.
Just scale down.
Scale down. Yeah. And
like
so, and they're competition airplanes.
Like a 1/3 or 1/6.
Exactly. His planes are built to sit on a static judge table.
Yeah.
And they're all wood. All his planes come wood. So you have to like put them together. Because that's why I was saying, like, they judge your plane off of outline, which unless your plane is built out of wood, a lot of times you don't have control over the outline of the plane.
Yeah.
That was the manufacturer who designed the plane. It's carbon fiber, the shape is already there, or it's fiberglass, the shape is already there.
So there's some crazy people out there that are just making it from scratch, I'm sure, without buying kits.
Exactly. Yes, there are. Yes, yeah, there are people that are like drawing, like they're just engineers.
And I say kit and not but these are kits that are just like you said, it's like a box of toothpicks.
Exactly. Yeah. They come in so many different forms now. There's a thing called ARF, which is almost ready to fly. So it's like you open up the box and you see the plane.
There, the wings are there.
Wings are there. You just have to plug it in and put your insides in.
Yeah.
Then you have RTF, which is ready to fly. You just pull it out the box and put the wing on and go. There's
it's like a Radio Shack special, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So there's like those classes where you have to get static judge. So that's team scale where you have a builder and a pilot.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
Like that's the
That's a whole different class. Yeah.
Whole different class where you have a builder who gets static judge and he gets his score for building, and then it's up to you, Mr. Pilot, to fly that plane into the winner circle. Especially if he gave you a good static score. Then you have expert, which is somebody that bought an airplane and they built it themselves.
Okay.
No help. They set it on the static judge table. Now that person can win Mr. Top Gun if he did good enough. Mr. Top Gun is like the biggest trophy, and it comes with cash.
Oh wow!
And then there's masters.
How much? What's the cash like? What are we talking?
Okay, so when I won my class in Pro-Am, which is the beginner, I won $500 with that.
Yeah.
So,
there are pros out there that this is all they do, I'm sure.
Yes. And then you have masters who are the people that design their plane from scratch. It's a replica of the full scale one, but they designed their model from scratch. They can also win Mr. Top Gun. Now, it is a world that I am just.
And then that's not even to count.
You were in it.
The helicopter. There's helicopter models.
You got in here and just started
and the
it
jet
all out.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't necessarily do helicopters because it would take too much. They're flying. They fly so different.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a model airplane field, you see an airplane flying at a big oval.
They just go,
exactly. Helicopters, they can go up, and then, you have to make them follow the traffic pattern, and they take off so differently, so that's annoying.
I had a neighbor that was an RC helicopter guy, and he had his were probably about the length of this table, maybe a little bit smaller, and he would work on them in his garage, but then he would bring them out into the driveway just to test them, but like, half the time he's sitting there seeing if it's balance.
Yeah.
Not even he would just sit there and just have the blades going and like just making sure that it wasn't leaning in some way or and then he'd bring it back in.
And I know how to fly helicopters. I actually was the first person in my house to learn how to fly them as a model. But I was just like, this is so ugly. Like I hate how this like my thumbs are constantly moving trying to get this thing to just stay steady. If I can take an airplane, goose the throttle, get it up in the air, and as long as it's trimmed, that plane is gonna fly straight and I could just sit back.
But it's like why is an RC helicopter so hard to control if like you have all these drones that are basically the same kind of
exactly.
Well, they're not.
And they just control themselves.
Those drones aren't. Those drones are they're
they're
symmetrical based on that. They don't. A helicopter has your big gyro on top is a lift and it has a stabilizing one like this.
Yeah.
But The drones don't have that.
Yeah, they have like 4, and of course, the more blades, the more stable you're going to be.
Yeah.
Like with a helicopter, like if I can remember correctly, this is the throttle, this is the rudder to like rotate it in the air.
Yeah.
This is to tilt the helicopter side by side, and then this is like to make it go forward. Like you have to push down to make it go forward, and I'm just like you have to do all of this just to get the helicopter to turn around and. I'm like, bro, this is so ghetto. Like, I did not like it. And then having to land it was annoying. I was just like, this is so weird. Yeah. I hated it. I'm definitely an airplane guy through and through. Like, oh God.
It was. It's funny. I was curious too because a huge thing in the '90s. It was a whole industry into itself. Was people like to get aerial photos taken, and it was just a lot cheaper to go to somebody and get. An RC photo to do a flyby and get pictures taken too.
Yeah.
Than to get like a full blown aircraft. Did you ever get anything like that or no?
Now I want to make you. I'm probably gonna blow your mind. So movies like Top Gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard of Flight of the Intruder.
No. They use They use RC planes. Really?
They use RC airplanes.
Really?
They use RC airplanes that were not even powered by turbines. They were powered by these little loud 2-stroke ducted fans. Like when I say
shoot some of the scenes.
Yes, swear to God.
That was the in-air scenes, right?
Yeah.
When you're shooting something in the sky,
of course you didn't really have CGI like talking about.
It doesn't have any relative. But when something's in the sky, there's nothing to compare its size to.
Exactly,
it could be as big or small.
Yeah,
as you
and
want.
so like I want to
special vision.
I like
helicopters to film RC planes for a jet movie,
bro. Like I really want to show y'all like the sound that these jets used to make, and honestly, I love it. Like I honestly, don't get me. Turbines are dope because they sound like the real thing. That is just the coolest thing. The fact that somebody figured out how to take what is in an F-16 Falcon and shrink it to be the size to sit in my 2 hands.
Yeah,
and
that's
put
crazy.
it in a model jet is absolutely nuts. But
and
like I said, the nostalgia of hearing that nitro internal combustion engine make this very screaming loud noise, and then to hear 2 of them side by side. Some of these airplanes have 2 engines in them. Like if you had a model of the F-14, which is in Top Gun, you would have 2 of those engines sitting side by side, and they would just kind of sing, and it was a sound that I will never forget.
Yeah.
So we'll
take a break. Yeah, pull it up, and then we'll take a break after that.
Favorite video: yellow aircraft F-14. Let me see. So this is back in the 90s, where it was at a jet show called Jets Over D-Land, and there were 2 F-14 Tomcats models. 2 guys, one named Bob Fiorenzi, one named Charlie Travis, and they both painted them the exact same paint scheme. They were all black with a Playboy bunny on the tail. And so they decided that and it's painted at the full scale one, but they decided they were going to fly in formation.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, they collided. So
the ones that looked exactly the same, they crashed into each other.
They were trying to do the synchronous movements.
So what happened was
kind of hard whenever
one of the F-14s had his wings swept back. The F-14 is like the jet with the swing wings. So he had his wings swept back, and the other one had the wings out. One with the wings swept back came up under him, not realizing how close he was, and it like ripped off his vertical stabs, and he went into this like stupid like missile spin. Yeah. And just like in Top Gun, the movie, he goes into this like flat spin thing. And it was weird, man. Let me see. I got to find that video because you guys are going to understand what I mean when I say that these things sounded nuts. But yeah, man, this is the stuff that I'm just infatuated by. Like this hobby is what keeps me from like losing my mind.
This is where AaRahn goes whenever.
Oh.
You gotta get that premium, dog.
Yeah, man, you gotta get premium, dude.
Wait till I get a job.
You gotta get that premium.
So F-14 midair. This is the event. You hear that?
Jets. Oh yeah.
That's what they sounded like. That's them. That's one of them.
Oh yeah, the little twin engines of that. I see that. Yeah.
That's what they sounded like at Idle.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what they sounded like.
1993, dog.
That's in 93. That was in January of 93. Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
How fast do you think they're going right there?
That was probably an 80-mile-an-hour pass.
They look pretty close, though.
Now, that one there was probably a little bit over 100. The bigger they are, of course, the slower they're going to fly, depending on,
No. There. Yep.
Tragedy.
I saw him cut it up.
So one of them's still flying.
You saw debris, like.
Oh, that was big. That was a big boy.
and he's about to come in and land. But
You have to
like the only thing happened when he was like his front landing gear didn't come down. He like that whole incident.
Have there? Let's take a break. We'll come back and ask more questions. I got questions.
Hey, this is Julia with Wake Up Beaumont Podcast. You are listening to the A to Z podcast. A to Z Podcast Studios are funded in part by patrons on Patreon. If you would like to become a patron, visit patreon.com/A2ZBMT.
All right. I've come here to tell you about a fun thing that happens on Wednesday nights. Not tonight, though. We're not going to do it tonight. But next Wednesday,
it's our off week.
We're going to be doing A to Z D&D. We're back with Mr. Chris Presley and David Spradley, our glorious DM, and we go on adventures. And
the action continues.
The action continues, featuring Petey Jones, Sel, and the Bard Sways.
That's right.
Join us D&D Wednesdays. Also, we have A to Z Movie Night still cranking out episodes. We got a new one coming to you, and I'm just going to say what it is. What is it?
Escape from New York.
Escape from New York is coming out soon. So if
you're a movie buff,
you like that show, then go on down to A to Z Movie Night on Facebook, or just look for any of your podcasting apps and you'll find it.
That's right. And also, don't forget that we have space here in the middle, like you guys are seeing right now, for you to advertise with us.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very engaged audience. We have a very wide reach, and we are ready to shill for you guys, all right?
It's true.
So if you have an organization, a business, an event, anything like that, or you know someone who does, maybe go tell your boss, hey, I know a great way for you to advertise your business. Just get at us.
In a hip way.
In a hip way, exactly. Like, I can't stress it enough, our audience is engaged, and they're much more likely to participate in whatever you're offering than radio or television or anything like that. And then all you gotta do is click on that email and just get us at feedback@A2Zpodcast.com for all your business inquiries, and let us shill for you. We'll be just as enthusiastic. Trick drone flying, like that's really cool. But
the
to me,
drone races in Dubai with the headset.
But like I like replicas. You know what I mean? I really do. Like,
see, I'm happy for drones because it is getting more people into the hobby, and there's getting more people exposed to other parts of the hobby. You know, but because a lot of times I would. My dad is real flashy. My dad is an attention whore. Like, he would
fly.
No, like whenever we would transport our airplanes. Out of pure laziness and just wanting to show off, he would put the entire. Every time he gets a pickup truck, he has to get a truck like flat, like not like the cover that goes on the truck bed.
Uh-huh.
He would have to get those, and we would go flying, and I would hate it because I couldn't drive yet, man. And he would take the entire airplane, it's assembled, put it on this like little maintenance stand.
Mm-hmm.
Sit that on the back of his truck and then like tie strap it down to the side. So now we're driving with this
big ass
fully assembled airplane on the back.
Do you feel
and
the back of it picking up a little bit?
Not necessarily because only the wingtips are sticking outside of the cab. But like I'm so embarrassed. Like one day he picked me up from school. I was in band and he picked me up from school.
You're like nice model nerd.
But exactly. That's the thing. It's just like I wasn't the most popular kid in school, and I'm like these people are gonna be looking, and I hate answering questions from people. I hate when people just ask me questions just for the sake of asking them.
Oh, are you gonna go fly that?
Or they look at it like, does it really fly? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
What makes it fly? I'm like,
physics.
God, like that's a long thing. That's like we gotta go into this whole thing.
You just start there.
Well,
God.
I was a baby in my car seat and I stuck my hand out the window and I was
like you have to go into this whole thing about the controller, and then they have sub questions about the controller. You're still trying to finish your other question. It was all of that. So like my dad, he would just like put these airplanes on the back of his truck, and I would look at people looking out of their car, not paying attention and he would do stuff like turn the lights on, because some of our airplanes have like navigation lights.
Oh, so it'd be all blinged out.
So we're driving at nighttime. He would turn the lights on the plane. I'm like, I can't wait to get my own car.
He thinks it's cool, man.
I get it, but I'm just like, I'm not a flashy person.
He's like,
I'm not a flashy person.
You're gonna be just like that whenever you get old too.
But that's the thing.
You're gonna hit that 30 and
he even looks at me now. He was like, because I don't know if you noticed, but I sing, and so like he would try to get me to sing in front of the family, and I would just kind of like curl up. Just like
he's not ostentatious.
I don't like having to do stuff unless I'm in the setting for it. Yeah. Like whenever we go to Top Gun, he tries to get me to sing the national anthem, bro, and I'm just like,
I'm trying
I didn't come here for this, man.
I'm trying to fly. I'm trying to fly.
You know?
Right now.
I didn't come here for this, like, and whenever I'm doing...
No, he's the dad. That's my son.
Exactly. That is how he is. Like, whenever my brother comes in town, he wants my brother to wear his all-white uniform, his all-white Navy uniform, and Carl hates it, too. I'm like, poor Carl. I'm glad I'm not in the military. This is why
he wants to wear him. He wants him to put on his formals.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's like, I remember one day, Carl was like, man, I want to put on this damn suit. I was like, this is why I didn't join the Navy.
See, your dad's just proud of you because you've learned everything.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That he does, and you haven't gone and flown drugs in for the cartel.
Oh, nope.
Yeah. He's just really proud of you because you could be making millions of dollars doing that.
You made a point that I make to my mom all the time because I'll be walking around the house. She hates it because when they're gone, because I secretly want to be like a famous singer, and so I'll like take the biggest remote that I can find that feels like a microphone. Oh yeah. And I would walk around the house and I'll just sing, and then my mom came home. She was like, "AaRahn, where's the remote?" I was like, "It's in the restroom." She was like, "Do you have to walk around with the remote? Like, do you have to walk around with the remote?" And I was like, "Mama, I could be selling drugs. I could be doing way worse. I could be out there selling my body.
Could be. Yeah.
But I'm walking around the house with a microphone and you complaining."
You can be on the border right now.
Look, shoot.
You can be on the border right now.
I could have an OnlyFans account, Mama.
I mean, your fan has
Still could.
that one has that ability to drop that ordinance. It could be dropping more than ordinance.
Exactly, right? Because this is a little plastic bomb, and here's the ground you see it bounce. So that like takes the realism out of it.
That little plastic bomb could probably fit a lot of drugs.
Is there like you can go to store online and order different types of ordnance, or do you make your own? Or?
No, like there's a company called Details for Scale, cool. And all they do is sell. All they sell is like sell little bitty things, like even like little bitty antennas that stick off of airplanes.
Well, I was thinking,
like
there's that Brian Shahari guy, and he's big into boat models because he was in the Coast Guard, and like he builds these super detailed scale versions.
There's RC
and it's
boats.
just there's so
RC
many
cars,
different, But there's forums of like, how do you think the rivets would age on this kind of thing?
Oh my gosh,
because it's so small.
Is there like a relicking in RCing, like to where like you make it look like it's an old plane?
Patina.
Yes, that's what I do.
Patinaed and like
with weathering and trying to make it look like it's just been sitting there,
or it's been through battle.
You just like rub some dirt on it.
So let me explain to you this process. This is my favorite part of building an airplane. Actually, building the plane out of wood is my least favorite part, but actually doing the detail work,
like
it's one of my favorites. So I figured you'd like this. This is my P-40 at Top Gun, literally dropping a bomb.
Wow, that is cool. That's cool as shit.
It was like one of the best. I saw that picture and I was like, I am in love.
That looks like
a plane dropping an ordnance.
That looks like a still out of a World War II. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. So like this is a picture.
And the bomb's even like falling aerodynamically like it should. You can tell it's like right in the middle of his parabola. It looks
like it's just going.
It's like gonna.
So we have this photographer that goes to Top Gun. His name is David Hart, and he takes these immaculate pictures of our airplane. So he does one like every Friday night. We sit our airplanes at the end of the runway, and he gets the sunset behind him. Dude, look at this right here. This is my baby. Her nickname was Honey Mustard, but that was it.
Man, dude, that just if there wouldn't be the the lines on the lane, I wouldn't be able to tell that's an RC plane.
We'll have to send you these photos.
But you see, Zach, look, if you couldn't see the line,
I mean, they look so real.
That looks good.
Yeah, that's my baby.
And so that plane, it has a prop on it, and that's the prop is what's pulling that plane through the air.
Exactly. This is that static judging table I was telling y'all about.
Oh yeah, so it is like a dog and pony show.
Exactly.
Literally.
That's
Do they judge your uniforms too? Because those are dope ass.
Oh my god, dude! The guy he's an older guy.
The hot dogs, man.
Dude, we had on these freaking big old bowling shirts, man. I was like, dude, he made us look like clowns. But Rod, he's a really cool guy. But no, so as far as the weathering goes, I'm trying to find a decent shot of my airplane where you can see it weathered. Oh wait, I got to show y'all that one. This is the last one I got to show y'all.
Oh snap. Is that your plane?
No, that's my buddy Patrick. So this is the Japanese Zero, which is the P-40, is known for fighting in World War II. So we said, and we both had the smallest airplanes at the competition that year. So we both just said,
Zero is a very, very small plane.
Oh yeah, but like both of our airplanes were 86-inch wingspans. It's
just so crazy
when
to think
every other one was like 100 plus.
These are functional, it's so cool.
Yeah. So but I'm trying to find a good picture of my P-40 where it's weathered. So what I do is I'll paint the plane. Reason why I called it Honey Mustard because when I painted it this tan, before it was wet, it just gave me honey mustard vibes. I was like,
yeah.
ugh, I bought the wrong color, but then it dried.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody knows that plane is honey mustard. Everybody,
That's honey
everybody knows
honey,
it.
old honey mustard.
We got,
so you get the plane
honey
painted.
mustard in the sky right now, and
Do they have an air traffic controller at these?
No. You just have somebody over your shoulder telling you where the rest of the airplanes are, so you don't, have an incident like that video I showed. Yeah, it's exactly what they're called, spotters.
So incidents, do they happen often? Crashes, plane crash.
I mean,
do people ever get hurt?
sure a few have.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah, it's happened.
Especially probably when the jets first started coming on the scene.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that's
But then of course you get people that just don't know what they're.
Yeah, people coming out there just trying to like plug.
This is why I said at Top Gun I see my best crashes because a lot of times you get these people with money, with very little skill. And I see some of the most expensive, spectacular airplanes make some of the coolest freaking crashes. Of course, outside I'm like, oh, but inside, like there's a 2-year-old inside of me who just saw that. And he's like,
explosion. That's what I come for,
bro. Like the jets explode, bro.
They
jets catch on fire, dude.
Yeah.
And it's the I'm gonna get jaded for saying this, but this is the coolest thing when they
superheated fuel.
You see like a big old shoot.
Is part of that like the jealousy that you can't afford one?
What? Yeah.
It's like, hey.
I mean, but like I said, because of the people I know, I have one. I just got to put it together. It's like
so you have a jet right now.
I have a jet. And I don't have a turbine, which is because I know somebody. I'm going to get one for a very reasonable price. But
God, I would just love to see, I would love to see that in person, like the turbines.
Don't worry.
It's so cool.
I got y'all. But no, like the crashes, a lot of times, I just be like, bro, and you can tell. You can definitely tell when it is, okay, yeah, that was his fault. Or you can be like, because like if the plane, 9 times out of 10, you know it wasn't the airplane when you know it wasn't the pilot when the airplane's like not moving, but it's heading towards the ground.
Yeah, it's the same thing as so when a car crash happens and the cop comes on the scene and they go, there's no skid marks on the road.
Exactly.
You can tell that there was no intervention the same way in the sky.
Exactly.
If you're headed for a crash and there's like no correction, you're like, oh, that was probably
now, that
was probably a communication loss.
Like 9 times out of 10 I've seen, most of my crashes I've seen out there were due to radio loss, but the pilot error ones just be so funny. I hate to say that, but it's just like, because you know what you could have done to prevent that, right? But like, as far as what really sucks is like just to piggyback on weathering is when you crash, like when you put a lot of elbow grease into it. So let's say I'm getting my plane, my P-40 ready for paint. There's 3 different ways to apply rivets to a model airplane. You can take a soldering iron with like a little bitty tube with like a little simulated screw head, maybe. Oh yeah. And you would burn the rivets in one by one into the surface. You don't go hard, but just enough to leave an indentation. You know. Or you could take like a syringe with some Elmer's glue in it. We prefer Elmer's glue because of how it holds itself. Yeah. You know, and you would put glue drops. It makes it look like raised rivets. Yeah. Or
so it's purely cosmetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you can do the press-ons, which is becoming more famous because all you do is they're like these little vinyl rivets. There's like a sheet of them, and it's like thousands of rivets on this one sheet. You take a little piece of Scotch tape and you lay it across one line of rivet, and you take a marker and you try to get it to stick on the tape.
And you
peel the tape off, lay it on the plane.
Like a decal, yeah.
Exactly. I skipped a step. Before you do rivets, you do panel lines. Because you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all you do is take like 1/32 or 1/64 inch tape. It's very narrow. And you look at a diagram. What you'll do is like you'll get on Google and you type in like 747
schematics for these things, right?
Yeah, you'll type in, let's say, like any airplane, like P-51 Mustang 3-view, and it's like the drawing, like the original drawing of the airplane that the North American back in World War II used to design this airplane. It would have a view of the plane from the front, view of the plane with the nose down so you can see the top and bottom, and a view of the plane from the side. That gives you all the panel lines that is on the real one.
Yeah.
And you would just look at that and measure or kind of just like eyeball it on your model, and that's where you put that tape. And you'll tape it out and you'll primer. You put primer over those lines. Okay, and that's how you get your panel lines, your simulated panels. Of course,
it's going to leave it slightly recessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's smart.
So, and then of course you sand it to kind of get it back to a smoother finish. And then that's when you do the rivets. Now, a lot of times, if you want to be basic but still put rivets on your airplane, you'll just put the rivets along the panels.
Yeah.
Right, like right along the seams.
Exactly, like on each side of each panel. But in all honesty, it's almost like this wall. You don't just have beams on each corner. You have wooden beams all throughout the wall. So the plane, full scale plane actually has rivets all in between panels. So, you know, you got to do that as well if you want to go that route. You know, so that would be the next step of detailing an airplane. In this picture, like if you look at my wing, you can see the panels going. Yeah,
you can, you can see
and
where the panels.
So the only reason why you're able to see that from this far is because I took black paint. This is where the weathering and making it look old comes from. I took black paint, diluted in water. Like when I say black paint, I don't mean like spray can paint. I mean like kind of like just finger paint almost.
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah.
Took a paper towel, splashed it on the airplane, and then I wiped it off.
Yeah, you got
it left the smudge, and some of that paint recessed into those panel lines and around those rivets, so that helped them stand out.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like oil and all this other.
It does, yeah.
Bull
Makes
crap.
it look like it's been sitting at an airport.
Exactly.
And getting worked on.
And that's pretty much how
it's
you
all those little tricks. Yeah.
Exactly. And then of course, you know, you got little bitty stuff like exhaust, you know, burn, you know, you do that with like a some of these airplanes actually do it, but you do that with like a little spray gun.
Burn,
yeah. Some of these you know, you do like a spray gun or like a little air gun. You spray that on like that, you know, and then sometimes on my P-47, my more recent plane, I did paint chipping. So
you would.
What I would do is I would take aluminum, like a little silver, on a little bitty paintbrush, and I would go along, like say if this was a panel line, like this was one panel line went this way, and I had one this way. I would take that little silver and like go right there at the corner to make it look like the paint is shipping in some spots.
Oh wow!
So like these engines, like are they just like because I've seen the replicas of like V8s and replicas, and it's basically like a small scale version of the larger thing.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening here, or is
Kind
it more
of,
just like
not
a standard
necessarily.
small engine?
Let's say,
Because I would love to, like, you think of like a Mustang, right?
Yeah,
they had that
12-cylinder
big
V12.
Yeah,
They are coming out.
There's probably an actual V12. Right?
There is, but we would not use it. We would not use it because it would take too much to cool it.
Yeah.
To keep all 12 cylinders
It's
cool.
a volume thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like now we have these big ass single cylinder engines from, you know, like, and like say if I have a Mustang actually, an early model Mustang is but it would take a 12-cylinder engine. But I'm using a single cylinder 55cc engine. Now I could also use they make them in inline. They make them from single to I think 5 cylinders now.
Wow.
But the more cylinders you get, more expensive it's going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because
like a little 5-cylinder engine.
Exactly. Because in it not inline, I'm sorry, inline they go up to 4. But as a radial, which would be in something like a P-47 or a Zero, where the engine is round, you can get anywhere from 3 to I've seen 9 cylinders now.
Wow.
You know, and those radial engines,
little tiny.
But actually, and they're not that small, but like they are, and they sound amazing.
Yeah.
They sound similar to the
those
crap.
radial
good.
engines
They sound
sound
similar,
more
yeah.
realistic
They
than
sound
anything.
realistic,
They almost
yeah.
sound like Harley Davidsons. Like my dad has one in his World War II airplane. It's called a Dauntless, which was, I don't know if you guys seen the movie called Midway. It came out last year.
Yeah.
This is the main airplane in that movie, the Dauntless. We actually modeled his airplane after one of them, or one of them in the movie. And I love that. That was a really good movie, wasn't it?
It was good. It was.
You know,
you were tired by the time you finished.
exactly.
watching
But
it.
it was. But you
were in a
felt like
fight.
he was like, you know, I'm tired, but I just watched a pretty dope movie, so I'm like, I'm okay with it. But like, I'm trying to see. Like, here's a video of me starting Dad's airplane. You're gonna hear it. It sounds like a freaking Harley.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the engine. You can see it right there. It looks great.
Yeah,
That looks cool.
he didn't have the cowling that covers it actually on there, but we were test running the engine. Listen to
Just
this.
have a little more drag.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
And
Yeah,
then
that sounds good.
running. Let me see. Yeah.
That sounds like a mid-century prop plane.
Yeah.
Just higher pitch. Just smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at that air displacement. Look at that. It's like
That's so cool.
it's just blowing the air back.
So cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like the thing you enjoy most is the replica aspect of this.
Yes.
And we're just talking about Midway. I know that this is a thing that you and your dad do.
Mhm.
How much passion do you guys have just for these crafts and where they belong in the first place? So you guys World War II nuts.
Oh my God.
Do you guys
yeah.
like history? Are you a history buff? Is that like
I am
as much as this
okay,
is?
hold on, wait, pause. I am only when it comes to aviation. Listen, aviation hit me harder than like. I understand that my brother is in the military. I think it hit me and my brother the same way. Yeah. Not nearly as much as it did my dad. Like my dad will not. He can't sit. My dad only likes one aspect of it. And maybe my brother is maybe a little bit more dimensional than he is, but I literally love anything that has a wing on it that flies.
Okay. So anything from Kitty Hawk to now and
yes. Yes. Like,
did you like spend your time in the library when you were a kid looking at like the airplane books?
Yeah. Like everybody, I went to our Mother Mercy Catholic school, and everybody would look at me like I was nuts because while everybody else is looking at all the kitty books at the book fair, I'm over there looking at the magazines for like model airplane magazines and stuff like that. And my teacher, remember one time my teacher like snatched the magazine out of my hand. She didn't know that I knew what I was looking at. She was like, "You don't need this," and I was like.
You
just broke a kindergarten's heart. I just want you to know that. Like, I cried. She gave me the magazine. And, like, later that day, I was able to show her, ma'am, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I was able today, I can name almost any airplane you guys toss at me. I swear to God.
Almost anyone. Let's see. All right, cool.
If y'all got to pull up a picture. Just literally just type up a picture or something. I promise you I can name it. And then I will.
Commercial, military, anything?
Yeah. What you guys do, so what you guys are going to do is going to pull up a picture of an airplane. And I'm going to type in the name of it in my phone. And then you'll see.
Cool. Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
I'm trying to think of some really obscure stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm trying to think of some obscure stuff.
I'm looking for Russia.
Now, mind you, I said, now why would you go and do that?
Because they make some weird ass. No, they do. This is the one that. I'll look it up.
Yeah, there are some airplanes that I look at and really, like, what the hell is that?
There it is. That's the one.
Let's see.
Let me get a picture where you can't see.
Let's see. What is it? That is okay.
Very nice. I saw a picture of this plane. On some Facebook page, and I was like, that is fascinating. Have you seen this? It's a dual prop. Is that what they call that?
It is
that's a quad prop.
Yeah.
Well, no, it has four, but they're dual propellers. Yeah, Tu-95.
Yeah. So that's that one.
That's still in service. That's the ones that they were flying at our border the other day.
Yeah. There's a guy that who modeled one.
Tupolev.
And he modeled one. It's actually hanging up at this hangar in Bomberfield, but it was enormous, biggest airplane I've ever seen in person.
But it's like it has two props and they spin the opposite direction.
Yeah, they're contra rotating. Yeah,
but then there's four of them.
Yeah, it's weird.
Four sets.
Some of these people just made some weird stuff, man. Are you looking up one?
Yeah, I'm looking up one that I've seen in a museum one time. I'm trying to. Yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to look up.
Testing this kid's knowledge.
Shoot.
What's that? What's the plane that's over by Babe Didrikson?
Babe Harris?
Yeah,
that is an F-101 Voodoo.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was for a long time, but I figured it out. That is okay. Yeah, you got me. You got me. That's one of the ones. I see that plane all the time, and I just look at it and I'm like, I have no aspiration to know what you are.
So this stood out in my mind for a really long time when I was young. Mm-hmm. I got taken to the airfield museum in Galveston, and in that museum they had this plane there.
Yes, they did,
and it was a little longer than this room.
Yeah,
and I noticed it because everything else was standing out.
Exactly.
And then I was like looking at it, and I started reading the plaque, and I was like 8, right?
Yeah.
This plane is literally, it's a torpedo. It's a bomb that they hollowed out and put controls and put.
Oh, wait, that was just to drop off of another plane.
No, it was it was like. It was aimable bombs. It was called the Yokozuku.
It's definitely Japanese.
Yeah, Yokozuku planes. But it was towards the end of the war when like they were just like getting that plane and go, and you were the bomb. You flew into battleships.
Yeah. So there was like
there are those planes. Nothing.
There are those planes where I look at and I'm just like, I have no aspiration to know what you are and why you're here. So and that was one of them.
That's a dark.
Because I just thought it was like, if it's ugly, I just like, I don't care.
But what is the coolest plane and why is it the A-10 Warhog? That is such a cool plane, and it's just because the guns.
I don't know, man. Growing up in the 90s, I was obsessed with like the Blackbird, the supersonic.
Oh my god, SR-71, and dude,
I was like, I see pictures. I was like, I like
that story that gets told all the time, the speed story.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I don't remember it, but every time
y'all gotta look that up. If I'll put like a link to it or something. Like there's
This
a
one.
story. It's the
I just
speed
think this is the
story
coolest
where-
picture ever.
I know, man.
This is the coolest picture because imagine just looking
We
out
grew
your
up in the-
backyard and
yeah.
seeing that
It goes
shooting
like
across the
Mach
sky.
3.
We grew up in the
Right?
90s, and
Yeah.
that was like on
Dude,
all the science books.
you know
and we're
what I
like,
hate?
Because that's how we're gonna take down Russia.
Dude, you
Yeah.
know what I hate is that I got a chance to see an F-14 Tomcat and I was too young to appreciate it, not knowing that only a short 5 years later it was no longer being service.
Yeah.
Like I was 5 years old and they had it. It was at the Nederland Airport. Of all places. See,
That was
my
weird.
brother flies F-18s and they say that they cannot land at that airport because the runway's
It's
too
too
short.
short. Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out how they got this F-14 there. The F-14 is a much bigger jet and it's still supersonic with the swept wing. It's pretty much the same
What is
thing.
that plane that they've been working on for like the last few years?
Or the F-35?
Yeah, is that the one? Like, what's the
Oh, the
hobbyist
$1
opinion?
plane?
The hobbyists, I mean, they have models of it, not very many.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the opinion on the plane itself? Like, what's the story?
So my brother,
Waste of money or
is it a little bit?
It's a little inflated.
Yeah,
that's for
like
sure.
it was hyped really big, kind of like certain restaurants, especially
Yeah.
in this area. Like
like Steak Shack? The
God.
Steak and Shake?
Like,
Yeah.
which one?
F-35 is a Steak and Shake?
like steak, like Steak and Shake, and no shade, but shade. I mean, freaking. What was another one that I went to, and I was just like, "This is what y'all brought me here for." It was a
Oh no.
I can't remember.
I can't wait to have a quote.
Twin
It's like,
Peaks.
Twin Peaks is
Oh.
the F-35.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Looks really good. Looks really good.
yeah,
nachos
but
are good.
I'm ashamed. I'm like, I went on like the raunchiest night. Like, oh my God, like they hardly had anything on. I was like, if I swear to God, if I find a
No,
hair
I
in
think
my-
that's most nights, right?
No, like they had on like almost like stuff that you would see like Beyonce hop on stage in. Like it was like leotards almost. I was like, I swear to God, if I find a hair in my food, I'm going to think the worst.
It's overhyped stuff,
Yeah,
man. Like
you know,
35.
Yeah, like,
Or like the
35.
Harrier. That was overhyped.
Yeah, you know what plane I think is overhyped, and I'm going to get jaded for this too, especially if there's any airplane guys watching this. Y'all can square up. I don't like the P-51 Mustang. I don't like it. I don't like it because at not full scale, the real one, yeah, okay, you're a dope airplane, but at every event I go to, just like every 30 white guys, there's one black guy. To every 30 P-51s, there's one other kind of airplane. Like
Wow.
they're just all over the place.
Oh, it's
And
just,
I'm
it's just like oversaturation.
Exactly.
It's
There's
such a
like-
cool, it's such a
Why?
cool plane, though.
Why is it?
But
it's just so
is it-
popular.
Everybody just wants the Mustang.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows that it's like the premier World War II fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to have one, I'm going to have the obscure version, like
I
the
like-
early
yeah.
one that nobody liked.
I
which
think obscure
have
stuff
now.
is yeah.
Exactly, same. I love different, especially like when it comes to color schemes. You know, like the P-40 Warhawk Kitty Hawk is known for having the shark teeth.
And you wanted that.
Yeah.
You want that honey mustard, man.
I want that honey mustard. I want the one with the scorpion on the front.
Yeah.
I don't want the.
You don't want the shark teeth.
I don't want the shark teeth, even though shark teeth look cool.
It is ubiquitous. It is. That plane is like culturally ubiquitous.
Exactly.
It's in
Yeah.
everything.
You know, same
Yeah.
with the A-10 Warthog. I'm like, okay, you're a dope jet, but now everywhere I go, I see one.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the Mazda model airplane. Now they're really expensive and they're also very easy to fly. I mean, there's a big old flat, straight wing. You know,
Yeah.
that's not swept. The plane doesn't do anything funny as far as design.
No,
So
it's
it's a
just-
good. It's probably a good
it's just-
entry level.
Yeah, it's good entry
learn.
level.
Yeah.
Well, no,
You're
that's,
gonna
that's
spend some
a good
money,
question.
but-
Is there any-
Is there anywhere around here that people could start getting into RC planes? Or is it just this guy?
Holla at me. No, no. I mean, honestly, I'm like, would be more than happy to get
And is there a
anybody
hobby
into the
shop
hobby.
around here anywhere?
Unfortunately,
used to
so
be.
hobby shops are starting to. Yeah, there used to be a hobby shop in downtown Beaumont,
I remember.
Downsville,
Yeah,
my boy. But the internet is
it
just
was right
taking
by
over.
where Club
Yeah.
Platinum was.
You just
Mhm.
had to go online.
Yeah, you just got to go
Yeah.
online, and of course, there's a flying field over on Folsom,
Isn't
across from the hiking bike.
there's also one out in like Orange.
Yeah, there is one in Orange off 1442.
and there's one in Mid County too.
It's gone now.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
it is?
because of that.
I see the
all
sign
the
every
construction.
day.
Yeah, the
Oh,
sign is still there,
I
but
see the sign
I've
every
been
day.
out there. I've never flown out there, but the runway is so small, and it was
Yeah.
just in the worst possible
The
spot.
Folsom one's pretty nice though. It is.
Yes.
It's big and open and wide. Yeah.
You know, so I love it out there. You know, like, so honestly, personally, I may invite you guys out. We're going to be like doing the first flight of my dad's Big Dauntless here
Oh,
soon.
cool.
Oh, that would be
So we're either going to go to, depending on how I'm feeling, because, okay, so
if you go to Beaumont, then hit us up. We'll go out there.
yeah,
yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
Like,
Sure.
so if we don't go
Shoot
to
some
Beaumont, we're
videos,
probably
so.
going to go to Louisiana to this place called Larks. It's in Sulphur. And the reason why I say that, because on the first flight of the airplane, I would love to have just a field where if something goes wrong, I don't have to get a freaking four-wheeler to go fetch the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're out there on a plateau, pretty
Yeah,
much, you know?
yeah.
And there's so many, I cannot tell you how many times I've had to go fetch an airplane in just the worst
Muck and mire.
Exactly.
I mean, that's where the drainage is.
Exactly. And of course, I go out there and I'm not expecting to have to go out there and fetch my plane. So there are days I'm out there in flip flops and I had to go walk damn near the coals to get an airplane. I'm just like I never want to crash an airplane one day, man. I literally contemplate just going home and just like, you know what, just let it become part of the earth.
Yeah, just leave it there.
Just leave it there.
Do you guys ever think about going to different places to fly your airplane in different environments?
All the time.
Like the desert? Have you ever been to the Southwest?
No, I haven't done that. Honestly, I try to stay in Texas, if not go to Florida.
Because this is very coastal here, so I imagine the wind and everything is a lot different than if you were going to. This is probably a really challenging place to fly.
You know, and of course, like, I don't like flying in heavy wind, but, you know, because I personally, like, literally, the wind in model airplanes, that whole aspect has affected me so much, though. Even when I know I'm not flying, I could be at the mall, and if it's extremely windy, I'm annoyed because I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
even when you're not even about to fly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Too much damn wind.
Exactly. Even like in days I don't have to sing and I like don't have a voice, I'm like, I can't play around in my car now because I don't have a voice. But no, like I've flown in Colorado. I went to Colorado one year. Like 2016 was a dope year because I had people flying me out everywhere just to go. Oh, wow. Like I said, I met a lot of really nice people. That was the first year I also sang the national anthem at the Top Gun, and people just wanted me to go sing at their event.
Because your dad forced you to?
Dude, I hate that he had a point.
Get on, man.
Get on.
He told me why. He said, dude, you're going to do this, and people are going to ask you to go places, to go sing for them. And I hate that he was right.
Because now you get free flight. And
exactly.
You get to go to these places.
I went to Denver, Colorado, to one of the biggest events called Warbirds Over the Rockies. I went to a jet called Jets Over
because
Kentucky.
You were singing?
That's just a cool name, Warbirds Over the Rockies. That's a cool name.
So I went to that event. I went to Warbirds Over the Rockies. I went to Jets Over Kentucky. I've been to California where they did at the Planes of Fame air show. Planes of Fame air show is like any airplane that you can think of that is remotely famous. It is an air show, and they had a model air show at the beginning of it, and I got a chance to fly in it. And I got invited to go to Hawaii.
That's like the ones where like the Blue Angels are showing up.
Exactly, Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, dang.
So I got invited to go to Hawaii because there's every year in May they do a Pearl Harbor Memorial Show.
Oh wow!
At the actual spot,
at the site, yeah,
exactly at the Pearl Harbor Museum.
Wait, did Rona mess it up for you?
No, that wasn't this year. That was back in 2017, and I forgot what happened. I forgot. No. I remember. I was supposed to repaint my airplane as because it was supposed to be honey mustard.
Sorry, guys, I can't go to Hawaii. I got to repaint my airplane.
Yeah, I planned on doing it, but I forgot what happened. I just never got it finished in time, and then apparently like a whole bunch of drama happened with that group, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit this one out. Yeah, and I was like,
it's drama in the RC world, man.
Bro,
I'm telling you, bro.
It is so much drama. Like, bro, it is stupid, petty drama. Yeah. Like, you look at it, you just like, bro, y'all are like 40 and 50 years old, and this is what you guys are.
We're just flying planes, man.
Bro, we're just flying toy planes for bowling trophies. Like, chill. Like, chill out, man. It is not at all that serious. Like, I'll never forget a fight broke out at Top Gun one year. And I get it. I get why the fight broke out. And I was on old dude's side that was like whooping old dude's ass. But like, it was like the one guy's spotter wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And so, like, in a maneuver, he had like the guy that was the victim had to move aggressively to get out of the way of hitting this other airplane, and he like botched his maneuver, and he like he didn't crash the plane, but he had to make an emergency landing because he jerked the plane up so hard to where a major piece of the plane broke off. Because of G-forces. So he had to make an emergency landing, and I helped him fix it, but I'll never forget, he waited for the guy to get off the flight line because he wanted to talk to him about what happened. And dude comes off the flight line, he goes, "You need to watch where you're going, maybe you wouldn't lose your airplane." And I will never forget, dude cocked his fist back so quick and knocked this dude square in his nose. I was like, I was freaking tickled.
Dude, things get real on the runway, man.
No, dude. Oh, yeah. It gets real on the runway. But, yeah, I think the guy that started that, he hasn't been invited back since. But, yeah, it was annoying. Then, of course, people get jealous over other people that went. It's just a freaking, I guess you can say anything.
I mean, it's just like any kind of club. There's going to be purists. There's going to be people that want to do this way.
The planes versus the copters,
bro,
versus the drones,
bro,
and then the autocross car guys are on the sidelines.
And then you have the planes within themselves. You got people that fly aerobatics, because I like aerobatics too, but they got people that fly aerobatics that go against the people that fly scale. Like, ooh, you like flying your plane in a straight line. Ooh, you're making your plane do cartwheels. Like, we just we always go at it with each other. And I'll just be like, man, like, y'all childish.
So you got any big plans? Like, what do you got? You gonna try to get rid of that plane, get a different
So
one?
me and my brother made a trade because, like I said, I let somebody else build that plane, and it's just been pain ever since. So my brother and I traded for a P-51 early model Mustang, which we're going to take it to Top Gun, and we're going to do one of those classes where it gets static judged, where it's called a limited class, where there's no builder of the plane rule. Like, anybody could have built the airplane, but it's going to get static judged, whether you like it or not. Somebody had already started the plane. My brother's going to finish it. He's going to do all the detail work. My brother's really good at that, and I'm still learning. So we're going to do that. We're going to trade for that P-51. I'm going to get my jet finished. I have Honey Mustard, the Redemption. Honey Mustard 2.0 is being built. I got started on it, but I had to stop. And of course, my dad, he has his Dauntless. I have a B-25 bomber that I'm building.
Yeah.
And I also have one of my favorite airplanes is a trainer. Not like an RC trainer, but a military trainer. It's called a T-34 Mentor. Started out, it was like in the 50s, and they make a civilian version of that airplane. It's like loosely based off of it, but it's one of my favorite airplane designs. It is just I think it's just a gorgeous airplane. Well, that was a picture of the red and white one that I showed y'all sitting on the table. That's what that is. Somebody's giving me that plane, which is a $2,500 kit for $500.
Wow, yeah.
So, and that's the plane and retracts. So, and it's one of those fiberglass fuselage, and it's a foam wing sheeted with wood. So the shape of the plane is already there. I just got to plug it, paint it, do all that stuff, So,
you get a lot of work in your future.
I do. I'm trying to rebuild my hangar because I crashed. I had 2018 was not a good year for me as far as airplanes. Yeah, I crashed like 3 times that year, and 2019 was kind of like my bounce back. And I was getting that P-47 done, the one that I hate right now, and I'm just like, you know what? I was never in love with this airplane because I was never in love with the plane design. It's not my favorite airplane. But it's such an easy flying airplane. I can't deny it of that. Like, I can't deny that airplane. It flies so damn good. But I just didn't want it.
It probably wasn't unique enough for you or something.
That's the thing. You go up to the only thing unique about it was the paint scheme. Nobody had ever really seen it painted that way. I had to search. I was all over the internet. I was like, if I'm going to have this airplane, because it was given to me. If I was going to have this airplane, I've got to find a cool paint scheme for it. And I like the paint scheme, but once again, it's one of those airplanes that you see all the time because of how easy it flies. You don't see it nearly as much as the P-51, but it is an easy flying, like literally a entry-level military airplane for anyone. At any size is an entry-level military airplane for anybody. So I just wasn't, and this is not tuning my own horn, but because I've been doing this long enough, I can fly any airplane and make it look like it fly it as easy as that one. That's why the P-40 is like my favorite. You don't hardly see them because, one, they're not the easiest flying plane. They're definitely a Karen. They have their Karen, capabilities, But I can ride that horse. I love the P-40. So Honey Mustard is coming back.
Well, you got time now. It's 2020. You got time.
You got any gigs coming up or anything while we're closing this thing out? No. COVID done got
Dude,
you.
COVID, man. Corona. Carry your ass home, bro. Like,
it's getting there. I think we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, gives you time in the hangar, though.
I know. It gives me time to work.
Time in the hangar,
well, man, thanks for coming to talk about
your
hobby, man.
It's fun, man.
I had no idea how deep you were off into this.
I'm very deep. Trust me. Like this, and that was just the iceberg. Like, I'm like the tip of the iceberg.
I'm sure we scratched the surface.
I am knee deep into model airplanes guts.
So if you want to get more into model airplanes, then find AaRahn.
AaRahn Stewart, Facebook. Yes.
Hit him up.
And so now you guys have to have me back when my EP is getting closer to release.
We'll do a smallish table performance.
That's it.
Bro.
We'll do in-studio performance.
That too.
Bro, yes. I'm going to have my buddy Axel come in here. And,
there you go.
Yes, and we could do something. Because I am definitely working on original music. I'm tired of singing other people's shit.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.
That's been it.
Yay.
All right, thanks, AaRahn. That was a lot of fun. We got to learn a lot about your hobby and just, man, that it was inspiring the amount of passion that he had for
RC planes because I've never loved anything as much as that man loves RC.
Yeah, it was intimidating, yeah.
And thanks for sharing your story and everything. And if you want to go and check out what they're doing, you can go out to the Folsom Fields, or I'm sure there's a lot of pages on the internet.
Yeah, check out his Instagram.
Or just check out his Instagram and maybe he'll help you out if he has the time. But don't bother him. That'd be weird.
Well, talking about passions, you know what I'm passionate about? The love that I feel in my heart for our special, passionate patrons. They love us so much. They show it with their checkbook. They give us a little bit of money every month to keep these lights on. And those people are
in a capitalist society.
You know what? It's something. It's a tangible sort of thing that says that they value us in some way. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that next step, say that they love us. And those patrons, those passionate, awesome people are Jordan Stringer, Brian Castino,
we love you.
Doug Waldrop,
love you.
Michael Sarr,
love you.
Ben McClellan,
love you, bud.
Randy Edwards,
love you, bud.
Allie Gillette,
love you, girl.
Allison Pierce,
girl.
Lauren Bebo,
just love all y'all.
Wesley Harden,
love
Jacqueline Stockdale, Damon
She's
Randon,
okay. I love them.
Hannah McMahon, and our newest Nicole
Starting
Tony.
to get weird. I can't say love that much. It's
yeah. We're not being disingenuous. We love you guys.
We really
thank
do.
you for everything you do.
It's a bill, man. Y'all pay a bill every month.
If
that's
you
great.
want this sort of mutual thing that we're in, if you want to be in this kind of relationship with us particularly, you can head on over to patreon.com/A2ZBMT, where you can pledge a one-time or reoccurring pledge of your amount. If you do value us, and you do it or don't, this is always going to be free. But
even if you hate us, I mean,
yeah, whatever.
If you love what we're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to skip a week next week, and then the week after that, we're going to have A to Z 116, and that's going to star Susan Shine Kilcrease. She is the newest curator at Silsby's Ice House Museum, and she's been doing a damn fine job and rediscovering the old it was one of the largest lumber mills in southeast Texas, or the largest.
It's like one of the largest in the southern United States.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really cool one. So come back and see us in a couple of weeks, and learn about all the history that's in the making or being rediscovered.
Something like that,
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And also, guys, don't forget, this is a conversational podcast, and you guys can continue the conversation on all of our social media platforms. Let us know if you want to have a special guest on. We're very open to any suggestions. We'd love to have some storytellers, anything you guys want. Just get at us. You can contact us on Facebook. You can contact us on Instagram, YouTube, any of that stuff. We got big old ears on our big old heads, and we're listening for you guys.
See you next week.
Next week after next week after
this. 9, and then 9 plus.
All right, bye, guys. Yeah, see you guys later.
Fuck. We did go to Silsby.
We went to Silsby. It was very often.